of South Jersey. This is Game Night with Josh Hennick.
It's good!
On 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
And he scored!
Now live from inside the Ocean Casino Resort Studio, here's Josh Hennick.
It's a Hump Day Wednesday edition of Game Night on 97.3 ESPN as we are counting down to the official NFL schedule release, even though the day has been filled with leaks and reports and speculation and rumors and a partridge in a pear tree all throughout the day. We'll touch on some of the highlights of the day's reporting of what game is being played when and where. Also, we will get into a little bit of perspective on the Phillies as they get prepared to continue playing the New York Mets. We got some good news today about Trey Turner. We'll touch on all that and more here in the Power Hour known as Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Jam-packed hour. It's a Weinberg Wednesday. Dave Weinberg will join us coming up in about 14 minutes from now. Also, owner of Zia Nicolo Pizza over in Seattle City will be joining us. Nick will be joining us as our Seize the Deal offer this week is for Zia Nicolo. You can get two $25 gift cards to Zia Nicolo Pizza for just $25. So it's like a buy one, get one free starting this Friday at 9 a.m. SeizeTheDeal.com. And as always, you guys can join the conversation at 609-403-0973. Your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City. So before we get to the Philly stuff, a couple things on the NFL schedule, okay? Number one, I'm very intrigued by what exactly happens with the Eagles schedule, because we have a couple games that have at least been reported by multiple people so far, right? Coming into the day, we all knew that the Eagles were at least playing the Packers week one. And then as the day went on, the story was that Monday Night Football, the Eagles could be on Monday Night Football for week two. Well, now we know it's going to be Falcons at Eagles in week two, and then Eagles at Saints in week three. We have also seen reports that the Eagles would be at the Ravens week 13. That is the weekend of Thanksgiving. And then the Eagles will play the Steelers in week 15. The Eagles will not play on Saturday, December 21st, or Christmas Day, December 25th. So no one has to worry about the Eagles playing on those days. The Christmas Day games are very interesting, by the way. Ravens versus Texans and Chiefs versus Steelers. And then the previous week, it is going to be Chiefs versus Texans, and then Ravens versus Steelers the previous week. So Eagles have gotten out of the holiday game and the Saturday game. So two good news items for Eagle fans. Why? Because of the fact that for the Eagles, the whole situation with the schedule last year, I believe, had an impact on this team. Whether the players want to admit it or not, football players are creatures of habit. Every player I've ever heard talk about this, whether it's on television or radio or podcast, they all say the same thing. They always look for where their first bye game is. They want to know when all the primetime games are, and they want to know where they can plan their time off during the season to be with their family. So for the players, they're not as worried about, for example, again, just using it as an example, they're not as worried about playing the Steelers in week 15 or the Ravens in week 13 as maybe you and I are. They're more concerned about how many primetime games they get, how many games are before and after the bye week. Now, there is speculation out there, for those who didn't see it or hear about it, that the bye week is going to be week 5. That is worst case scenario also for the Eagles, because for the Eagles, you don't want the bye week early in the season. You just don't. you want the bye week sometime in like late October or to mid-November. That way it's kind of like in the middle of the season. You don't want it so early in the year that it kind of is a waste at that point. Now, if you want to consider the fact that the Eagles will have, again, according to reports, their Thursday night game, week 11, which means they get an extended time off between week 11 and week 12 as a mini bye week in there. Sure, I can see that. But I think that when we get the schedule confirmed tonight, I think a lot of you are going to be happy with the results. As I told you guys yesterday here on GameNight on 97.3 ESPN, Josh Hennig, hanging out with you on a Wednesday night. I expect way more 1 o'clock games than last year. And if the conjecture and the reporting out there is correct, it looks like my prediction for at least 6 1 o'clock games is probably going to happen. Now, again, I call it conjecture and speculation and rumors because some of the information has not been confirmed by certain respected figures, we'll call them, people who have a track record of being reliable reporters. Because we've seen too many times that people that we thought should be reliable reporters ended up being wrong. I never forget the fact that there was a Bears reporter a few years ago who kept reporting that Nick Foles was going to be coming to the Eagles from the Bears. Well, it never happened. And that was supposed to be a reputable beat reporter for the Chicago Bears. You see the reports where, a guy like Adam Schefter or someone like that, they go out of their way to say, this is not a report, this is an opinion, right? Because you got to be careful with these things. So we'll touch more on the schedule coming up with Dave Weinberg coming up in about 8 minutes from now. I want to squeeze a couple texts before we get to the break because, again, we got 2 guests coming on this hour. Jeff from Ocean City chimes in. He says, Josh, I feel the Phillies have the best starting pitching in all of baseball, which will get this team to a World Series title. He says, also, who do you think wins the golf major this weekend? Well, I'm going to give out my 5 picks for the tournament coming up next, Dave Weinberg. So we'll get to the PGA Championship in just a bit, Jeff. But I do want to say that when it comes to the Phillies, you're right. The Phillies are the kind of pitching that should get you to the World Series. But the problem with the Phillies the last couple of years in the postseason has not necessarily been their pitching. It has been their hitting. So if the problem for Philadelphia is the bats in the postseason the last 2 years, should we be concerned that the hitters are struggling during the regular season now as well? Harper, Castellanos, these are guys who are all having down years. Realmuto sure is playing better than last year, but he was really not good hitting last year. And then Sharon EHT says, Alec Boehm is having a great season. And if it wasn't for Boehm and the way Trey Turner was playing before he was put on the injured list, would you be in this position? By the way, the good news with Trey Turner is he is running sprints on the field. So it looks like his hamstring is pretty much healed at this point. So we can anticipate him coming back sooner than later, and he should be good to go. Obviously, the Phillies are being extra precautionary with Turner because of the fact that he's dealing with a soft tissue injury. Anytime you have a soft tissue injury, it's always a delicate situation to deal with. Dan EHT has 2 questions. He says, I'm ready for football season. This schedule release is such a tease. Also, when is Philadelphia getting a WNBA team? WNBA team is a good question because, you got Golden State's getting a team. You got Toronto's getting a team. I think the problem for the WNBA right now is they need to get their house in order. You had 2.1 million people watch Caitlin Clark last night. Angel Reese makes her debut tonight, and it's on the WNBA League Pass. WNBA needs to get their games on regular television before we worry about a team of Philadelphia, okay? But I appreciate Dan EHT chiming in. Coming up next, Dave Weinberg for this week's edition of Weinberg Wednesday here on GameNight with me, Josh Hennig, on 97.3 ESPN FM and 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea City.
It's Carlin vs. Joe with Chris Carlin and Joe Fortenbaugh on 97.3 ESPN.
We loved him in Philadelphia. I say that we because I'm a Philadelphia fan and I was a huge fan of Jimmy Butler there. The fact that they went with Tobias Harris and Ben Simmons over Jimmy Butler is something everyone regrets. Do they regret that to the point where now they see a second opportunity and they make the mistake of saying, look, we got to correct that previous wrong?
It's Carlin vs. Joe with Chris Carlin and Joe Fortenbaugh. Weekdays from noon to 2 on 97.3 ESPN and the free mobile app.
The IRS is the most powerful collection agency on earth. And if you owe back taxes, the news isn't good. The IRS is raising the interest rate it charges on unpaid taxes, and further rate hikes are expected. Most people don't know it, but the IRS adds interest charges on your tax debt daily. So if you owe the IRS today, you will owe even more tomorrow. And it doesn't stop until you get right with the IRS. The good news is getting right can start with one phone call to Optima Tax Relief, America's #1 tax relief firm. Optima's tax professionals specialize in the Fresh Start Initiative, a powerful IRS program that can save you thousands if you qualify. In fact, the experts at Optima Tax have resolved over $1 billion in tax debt for their clients. Call now for a free consultation.
Call 800-480-6932. That's 800-480-6932. 800-480-6932.
Optima Tax Relief.
Some restrictions apply. For complete details, please visit OptimaTaxRelief.com.
Find what you love, love what you find. A Total Wine and More. There's so much waiting for you. Spirits and beer, thousands of wines. Guides in the know and prices so low, it just might blow your mind. You're gonna find what you love and love what you find.
Only at Total Wine and More. Drink responsibly. Be 21.
Do you have a job? Do you have $199? Do you want a brand new Nissan?
Oh yeah, it's on at Matt Blatt Nissan.
Stuck in a loan or lease? AJ the Trademan can get you released, even if you owe thousands more than it's worth. Then drive home in your new Nissan Altima S or Sentra SV for only $199 per month lease with zero security deposit and only $29.99 due. That's a brand new 24 Nissan Altima S or Sentra SV that gets up to 39 miles per gallon for only $199 per month. And don't forget the Matt Blatt Nissan Peace of Mind 4-day love it or leave it return policy only at Matt Blatt Nissan.com. On approved Tier 1 credit through NEMAC. Negative equity will be refinanced into new vehicle plus tax tag and $589 fee. Offers can't be combined. Call 877-289-6670 or go to MattBlattNissan.com for complete details. VIN RY229097 and RN330138. Sentra. Lease selling price $25,509. Ultimate lease selling price $27,829. Offer ends 6/5/2024. It's on at Matt Blatt Nissan on the Black Horse Pike. Egg Harbor Township.
Why do so many dogs suffer from weight issues, skin problems, messy poops, and low energy? It could be the popular dog food you put in their bowl each day.
Cody was sleeping a lot, wasn't playing.
She was very lethargic and not moving around.
Dry kibble just wasn't cutting it.
That's why, after more than 45 years of experience of helping dogs make complete health turnarounds, veterinarian Dr. Marty created Nature's Blend. It's a freeze-dried raw dog food made with wholesome ingredients like premium meats, seeds, vegetables, and fruit. And once dog parents switch their pups to Nature's Blend, the results can be astounding.
She's got her energy back. She's running around like she did like 5 years ago.
Miraculously, she's just feeling all around better. She's like a new dog. Thank you, Dr. Marty.
Get your dog started today and save up to 54% off Nature's Blend. Plus, receive a free pack of our best-selling beef liver dog treats. Go to drmartypets.com/deal or text DEAL to 511-511. Text DEAL to 511-511. All dogs are unique. Your dog's results can and will vary. Message and data rates may apply.
It's time to treat your home and your feet to new carpet. The Home Depot has an offer for you. For a limited time, you can get 10% off select Home Decorators Collection carpet, and installation by licensed providers is included. Offer valid May 9th through May 26, 2024. Receive 10% off select Home Decorators Collection special order carpet and installation. Installation included with qualifying purchase. Exclusions apply. For licenses, see homedepot.com/license numbers.
Powered by the all-new Bet Parks New Jersey Casino and Sportsbook app. betparks.com. This is the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network.
We will find out the Eagles' schedule today. Good Wednesday afternoon. I'm Nick Earnshaw with your South Jersey Sports Center. Today is the day the NFL schedule will be released for every single team. Though the opponents are already known, the days, times, and weeks will be dropping today. There have already been some leaks as well as reports on some of the Eagles' schedule. The game that is widely being reported as the home opener for the Eagles is Week 2 against the Atlanta Falcons on Monday night. This is per Jordan Schultz. The NFL schedule will officially be announced at 8 p.m. tonight on ESPN2. The Phillies return home tonight to face the Mets for 2 more games after beating them twice in a row in New York. Ranger Suarez will be on the mound for the Phillies. For more Eagles, Sixers, Phillies, and Flyers, download our free mobile app. Your forecast is next.
New Jersey voters, there are 3 ways to vote in the primary election. Vote in person on Election Day, Tuesday, June 4th. Vote early in person starting Wednesday, May 29th. Or apply for, complete, and return a mail-in ballot. Details at vote.nj.gov.
From the Town Square, New Jersey Info and Weather Network, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dan Zero. Dry weather returns tomorrow. Eventually, steady rain will transition to spotty showers tonight. It'll get windy for a time too, with gusts over 30 miles an hour. Low temperature 58 degrees. Tomorrow, lingering showers with lots of clouds, still breezy, high 62. We'll finally get a nice dry day on Friday with a mix of clouds and sun and a high of 69 degrees. Get weather 24/7 wherever you are. Download our free mobile app today.
97.3 ESPN has teamed up with Seize the Deal for incredible weekly offers from some fantastic local restaurants. Here's this week's big deal.
Get a $50 gift card good for use at Zion Mikamo Pizza in Sea Isle City for just $25.
Get this great deal starting Friday at 9 a.m. at seizethedeal.com. Hurry, chances are this deal will sell quickly. For more info on this great deal, go to seizethedeal.com.
SeizeTheDeal.com. This is Game Night with Josh Hennig on 97.3 ESPN and the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app.
Before we get back to the text board at 609-403-0973 and your DMs into the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle. Dave Weinberg is back for a Weinberg Wednesday here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN. Dave, welcome back. How you doing today?
Doing well, Josh. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So for someone like you who covered the Eagles for as many years as you did, you know, this whole situation with, you know, a couple games here and there being leaked, waiting around for the schedule release, like this had to be like an exasperating like time for someone like you, because you're just looking around and be like, can we just get to the schedule already, right?
Yeah. It's kind of weird how it's all evolved, and you know, it never used to be that big of a deal, but now all of a sudden it's a prime time event. Everybody hovers around their computers or TV and to wait. And like you said, the games are leaked here and there, but and I always try to as soon as the schedule's released, I'll go and try to predict the season, which is a fruitless exercise, but it's kind of fun. But
we all do it.
Yeah. I'm just kind of, it's amazing how the thing has developed over the years. People really they live for it now.
When you think about it also, because Jeff Mosher was on with Mike Gill earlier, and he said that he doesn't care about the leaks. He just wants to get to the schedule tonight and be done with it, Right.
Yeah, I'm the same way. Well, back in the day, I had to start, planning my travel schedule and that kind of stuff.
Right.
The quicker you get everything, the better it is for that. Yeah, that's definitely true. And for Eagles fans too, if they're planning a trip or they want to go to LA or Tampa this year, then they want to find out when the games are so they can get busy with their packages and stuff.
Yeah, I mean the only problem I have with a day like today is you have people who start leaking certain stuff, right? Like reputable reporters, right? And then you have other people who are not reputable reporters putting stuff out there. And it's like, it's so hard to explain to the uninitiated, why that difference matters. Because, you have someone it doesn't have to be like an Adam Schefter or Mike Garafolo. It could be, a Jeff McClain, right? Someone who's just been around doing it for a long time versus some rando who paid for a blue check mark. They're not one and the same. They're two different people.
Right. I mean, it seems kind of pointless to do it, honestly. I mean, why would you You don't know who to like. You don't know who to believe, who not to believe. Like some guy will come out and say, they're playing such and such on such and such a day, and turns out not to be true. And you're much better off just waiting for 8 o'clock tonight, or whenever the Eagles decide to release the schedule to their fans and stuff, and just don't even bother with the conjecture and stuff, because sometimes it's not right anyway.
Yeah, because like for example, I have trouble believing, and again, I can be wrong tonight, but my prediction is that I think there's going to be at least 2 Monday Night Football games for the Eagles because Jason Kelsey is on Monday Night Football. And,
that's a good point. Yeah.
To me, if I'm ESPN, right, I'm going to go to war over this. I want 2 Eagles games. I want 2 Cowboy games because I got a former Eagle and a former Cowboy on the set of the pregame, halftime, and postgame. I'm not wasting that money invested in those guys if I'm not. That would be like saying, hey, I got Steve Young. Remember Steve Young was on the Monday Night Countdown for years. We're going to have no 49er games. Like, that would be stupid, right? So,
oh, yeah, absolutely right. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, you want to take advantage of your talent that's there. And
right.
Like Jason's obviously not far removed from his days as an Eagle. So, yeah, that makes perfect sense. From what I understand, their second game is going to be a Monday Night Football game. Is that right?
That part has been confirmed. Yeah. What we do know is that week 1, Packers in Brazil, week 2, Falcons, Monday Night Football. But for example, there's speculation out there that the Jags game versus the Eagles is going to be on Sunday Football. If I'm ESPN, I ask, how much do I pay? Because you know what I want, Dave? I want Jason Kelsey and Doug Peterson in a room on the pregame show chatting. That's what I want.
Yeah, it's true. I imagine there'll be some lively discussions there. Yeah, but I don't know who gets like first pick for what. I mean, how they placate certain networks for certain games. From what I can gather, and it seems like more and more of them are going to be available only through streaming services, Netflix,
it's a mess,
and
Dave.
all that stuff. I mean, that just boggles my mind that they would do that to fans.
Well, we've been talking about this, last. You okay over there?
Yeah, I'm fighting a cold and allergies and all kinds of baloney. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I mean, for me, it's that I was having a rough time with my head and eyes until the pollen finally got washed off.
Yeah.
But now I feel like I'm in the twilight zone because this morning I'm driving in and it's raining, but it's like the brightest cloudy sky of all time. So I feel like an idiot driving around with sunglasses when it's raining outside.
Oh, I'm not opposed to doing that. Whatever it takes.
Does that mean I'm getting old? Because I'm
wearing
it could
sunglasses? Be. That could be. Yeah.
It is my birthday this weekend, so I guess I should just accept it.
Oh, happy birthday.
Don't tell anybody. But back to the Eagles, you mentioned about the networks. It's all a mess because the reason why the schedule is being released tonight instead of last week is because ESPN spent almost a month trying to negotiate this deal with Netflix for the Christmas Day games. Yeah. Apparently it was like pulling hair. Like, you would think this would be an easy negotiation. You want the NFL pay this number, but apparently it wasn't that simple for logistical reasons, because what the report came out from Mike Florio from Pro Football Talk was that apparently they had to figure out how they were going to do this, like logistically, for the schedule. So the 2 Christmas Day games on Netflix will be the first 2 games of week 17. And because the teams are playing on a Wednesday, because it's Christmas Day, thank God it's not the Eagles play on Christmas Day. Can you imagine that fiasco? Yeah. But I digress. The 4 teams that play on Christmas are also going to play on Saturday, December 21st. So it's basically going to be the same 4 teams, just playing different teams on 2 different days. So, can you imagine the fiasco of having to figure out the logistics for that? Like, if you're the NFL, I don't care whose job it is, that's got to be such an exasperating, you thought you had a system, you thought you had a formula, Dave, and here comes Netflix demanding to spend money. And if you're the schedule maker, you're probably just pulling your hair out at this point.
Yeah, that's true. It's the whole thing is really confusing. I mean, it seems like I guess it's definitely been released. It's getting released a lot later than normal, right? I mean, it's usually late April or early May. So
Yeah, it's usually the first week of May is the special.
right, for them to drag it out this long is really frustrating. But I guess that's the world we live in now with all the, like they said, the streaming services, Netflix and Peacock and all that stuff. They won't all have a piece of the pie now. So it's and it's really difficult for the schedule makers, I guess, or the league to figure, and the networks to divvy it all up and figure it all out.
Now, I am curious, Dave. Do you have Netflix?
Oh yeah, I have 3 grandsons. Yes, I do.
Well, I mean, you could have
But I have it
grandsons and have
I have
another
it
streaming
anyway.
platform.
Yeah, I have it anyway. Yeah, I do. Yep, I love it.
Okay, I was just wondering because, for example, there are still people who don't have Netflix, for example. So
Right.
now, in order to watch these 2 games on Christmas Day, you have to have Netflix. Just like Thursday football, if you want to watch the game, you got to have Amazon Prime or go out to the local establishment. You know what I mean?
Which I also have. Yeah, I understand. Yeah, that's true.
I'm
I'm a big Netflix guy. I love the Ozark and all that stuff. Yeah. So football.
I mean, I like Netflix. Don't get me wrong, but like I'm also aware that Netflix is not the number 1 streaming platform on the planet. So, there are still some people who they're going to have to. No, it's not. It's actually YouTube.
Get out, really? Huh.
YouTube has the most subscribers, the most minutes watched, and the highest volume of streaming.
Wow, how about that?
Yeah, it's YouTube number 1, Netflix number 2, and as of right now, Hulu is number 3, Amazon Prime is 4, and Disney Plus is 5 as of January of this year.
Well, I got Disney Plus, right?
Well, that's what I was saying. You could have Disney Plus and not have Netflix. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's true. But each grandson likes a different show. Yeah, it's not worth the hassle. They just get them all.
Just get 'em all. What do you use, like Pokemon? Got to catch them all.
Yeah, pretty much.
Talking with Dave Weinberg for a Weinberg Wednesday extra point columns over at 97.3ESPN.com at Dave Weinberg 19 on the Twitter X platform. Dave, it's funny because so the main ones for me, the streaming platforms, are Netflix, Hulu, Disney Plus, and I have Stars because they've coerced me into this only paying $1.99 a month for it. So those.
Oh, really?
Yeah, those are
Stars.
Yeah, well, it's weird because I originally got Stars because this was like over a year ago. They had one of the promotional deals, right?
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, hey, I don't have to pay a lot of money for this. I'll pay $3 a month, and I'll see what's on there because there was a specific movie I wanted to see on there. And we've all been there, right? We've all been, hey, like for you, your grandsons, or for me, just be like, there's something specifically on this platform I want to watch.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take the special deal, right? And
that's how they rope you in. Yep.
Right. So when I was going to cancel it because the rate was going to go from $3 a month to like $9.99 a month or whatever it was, I was going through the process of ending the subscription, and once you get halfway through the process, they say. They literally have this part of the screen where it says, what if you only had to pay $1.99? Would you still want to unsubscribe? And then when you click, yeah, I would pay $1.99, they say, congratulations, you are signed up for $1.99 for the next 6 months.
Right. Yep. That's we go, my wife and I, we go through this all the time with not to digress, from sports and stuff, but we're the amount we pay for our cable bill each month is outrageous, and I don't understand why you can't just go and pick and choose which channels you don't want anymore. But one's tied to this and that's tied to that, and you can't have this without having that. It's really frustrating to do. And
Dave, I gotta tell you, I cut the cord earlier this year.
Did you? Yeah.
I couldn't take it anymore. The bill just kept going up. It felt like every few months, and I'm sorry, this job doesn't pay me like a rich person. So, you got you got to choose sometimes in life, right? And I've gone completely off cable. Now, eventually I'm going to get like one of those like streaming versions, like a YouTube TV or something.
Yeah.
I have survived without any cable television.
So what do you use? Can you tell me?
Well, I'm going to eventually probably pick up YouTube TV.
Okay.
I know some people like the Hulu TV. So for me, it would probably be one of those two just because of the rewind capability that you can do with it, and you get all the local channels with it. And I think YouTube TV is like $72 a month. So
wow.
if you think about what I was paying for Xfinity versus what I would be paying for YouTube TV, I'm probably going to end up saving $100 a month.
Wow, that's awesome. You don't even want to know what I pay a month. It's just ridiculous.
Trust me. You can text me the number later, and I'll send you my number, and we can compare notes of how we're getting suckered.
So what do you do now?
So right now, because I'm not home a lot of nights and a lot of weekends because of this job, we got a TV right here in the studio. I've watched a lot of games right here in the studio.
Oh, perfect.
Or I go to the local establishment, some of my favorite spots, go out, talk to random people at the bar or the brewery and just watch a game. Because one of my favorite things to do, anyone who's ever run into me out and about, Dave, knows this, and some of the listeners have met me out and about. I just go out to watch games and talk to people. Like, I legitimately, whether I agree or disagree with somebody, I just like to hear what people have to say. Like, I like to get people's genuine reactions to things. To me, being on social media, it's like toxic to your brain. Like, you sit there on Twitter during a game, you lose your mind. Like, it's absolute insanity, the vomit that is on Twitter sometimes or on social media during games. Like, I just want to chuck my phone out the window. So I'd rather talk to real human beings, like real people, than these idiots that are online who, have fake names and fake avatars and like they're big tough guys. Like, I mean, Dave, I literally wrote an article about restaurants and people are attacking me on Facebook. Like I insulted their child or something. Like,
you're trading, especially like if in Cape May, you're trading on dangerous ground if you try to rank restaurants or recommend stuff, because invariably you're gonna leave one out, or you're not gonna get somebody. Oh, I can't believe you didn't do this. Blah 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 blah. You're asking for trouble in that realm.
Like
that's for sure.
The volatile nature of it, like it's like, and people like, I mean, I've literally had people accuse me of like, this list is paid for. Every one of these restaurants paid to be on this list. And literally I replied to the person, I said, first of all, that's against the law.
Right.
It's called payola. And second of all, you have to put a disclaimer on an article if that is the case. And, I told the one person at one point on Facebook, which I made the mistake of replying in the first place. That was my first mistake. But I told the person, Dave, I was like, I wish 25 people paid me to write an article about them.
Yeah. That's true. Yep. I mean, it's that stuff is kind of like, especially like the group thing. I hate that because I live in Cape May. I have to stay in touch with things, and the amount of people that just they must spend 24 hours over their laptop or on their phone,
you're 100%
just waiting to reply to any stupid innocuous comment. They have to either agree with it or disagree with it, no matter what it is, no matter what it's about. There's a new movie. There's a Bob Dylan movie being filmed in Cape May this week. And people love it, people hate it. I can't believe the restaurants are having to deal with this. Blah blah blah. Parking. Then you have to pay for parking. Blah 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 blah. I was just, oh my gosh, you like pull my hair out if I had any left.
One of my favorites with the Cape May groups was I wrote that article back when the announcement came out that they were changing like some of the spots for like paid parking versus non-paid parking with the meters. They got rid of a bunch of the meters.
Yeah, they sure did. Yep.
So I wrote an article about it. And my favorite was like the one part of the comments said, there are still parking meters, blah, 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 blah. And the next comment under is someone replying to that person saying, well, if you read the article, it actually says that in the article. And then the person replying to that comment saying, I don't read articles.
Well, then don't comment. Right. If you're not going to take the time to read it, then you have nothing to say. Right. I agree. Yeah.
And how it is, as someone who's been a writer your entire life, there's nothing more exasperating than the person who has an opinion who didn't read what you wrote.
Right. Just take the time, and then you can come. I mean, we can feel free to disagree, but at least take the time to read it. Yep.
It's so funny. You're right though. The Cape May, because one of the articles I wrote was about the Cape May restaurants and like the vitriol that people have.
Oh
it's
yeah.
Like, and it's like one person was like, "I have eaten at every Cape May restaurant," and I was just like, "You either have a lot of disposable income, or you never leave the island."
Right. Yeah. No, you didn't. But if you say you did, okay, sure.
By the way, how many restaurants do you think are in Cape May? Because I surmise it's over 35.
Oh, easy. Yeah. It's probably 45, 50, I would guess. If you talk about all the little mom and pop stuff and the out of the way places, yeah.
Well, see, that's part of the problem. And that is like, you live in Cape May. You lived in Cape May for years. We used to, for those who don't know, we used to joke that Dave Weinberg is the mayor of Cape May because you know so much about the town and the history and all that stuff.
Right.
Because you lived there for so long. It's like me with Sea Isle. Like people joke that I should be mayor of Sea Isle because I know the town in and out.
Right,
but it's but even you haven't eaten at every single little nook and cranny in town.
No. Hope to eventually, but not yet. No.
But you know what the problem is, and I try to explain to somebody, we all like to go back to the places we like.
Yeah. And quite frankly, there are some that are, I know they're very highly regarded, but I don't like that kind of cuisine, or I just don't like that kind of atmosphere. So I don't go. I mean, that's nothing against the restaurant or against the food. I'm sure it's great. I just don't eat pheasant or foie gras or, I'm going with, I go with the things that I like. And, I mean, my palate's pretty, wide. I do like different things, seafood especially, but I'll try other things. But yeah, I mean, but it's different strokes for different folks. If you don't like that stuff, then don't go. If you do, then go. I mean, that's why there's so many restaurants, because they appeal to so many different people.
Yeah. I think that's the point we wrap up the segment, because we just
I'm sorry.
we brought up prison. Now we've really gone off the beaten path.
Yeah, there you go.
He's Dave Weinberg at Dave Weinberg 19 on the Twitter X platform. Extra point columns over at 97.3 ESPN.com. I guess we'll get to the Phillies next week, Dave.
Absolutely. Sounds like a plan.
Take care, Dave.
All right, Josh. Thanks again as always. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. Always
happy birthday.
Talk with Dave Weinberg. What's that, Dave?
And happy birthday.
Well, thank you. And thank you for reminding everybody again. Take care.
All righty. See ya.
For those who are wondering, my birthday is not today. It's this weekend, but as I told Dave, I'm glad to know I'm not the only person who does this, but I literally drove to the radio station this morning with my sunglasses on while it was raining outside, because the glare was so bright cutting through the clouds that I just had to. So I guess that makes me getting old. According to Dave Weinberg, it is. By the way, Jeff in Ocean City, why do you not have Netflix? I'm not criticizing you for it. I'm curious, because Jeff from Ocean City texted in and says no Netflix here. I'm always curious why people have certain platforms versus others. Just to use an example. So, how do I say this? How do I say this without divulging the person? Okay, I'll say it this way. So I know someone who doesn't have any other streaming platforms except for Hulu Live plus Live TV plus sports. And the reason why she only has that as the only streaming platform, because she doesn't have cable. So she has that for her cable, but her thing is she watches a lot of sports, and all the shows that she wants to watch are all on Hulu. So she has no reason to ever watch another streaming platform, because there's nothing on the other platforms that's going to draw her in, and she doesn't have the time to watch other things. So that rationalization makes sense to me, at least. I understand that. I'm like, okay, that makes sense. But for other people, and I'm not saying Jeff in Ocean City qualifies this, but there are other people out there who have a lot of downtime on their hands, and they have a lot of disposable income. And some of those people, I'm always curious, what the reasoning is. Like, I have a buddy of mine who is very well off, okay? And I don't want to say his name on the radio either because I don't want to get him to get in trouble with his wife when I say this, okay? But he's very well off. He's very financially well off. And he doesn't have YouTube Premium. This guy makes 2 to 3 times more than I make. And I even pay for YouTube Premium, so I don't have to watch the commercials on YouTube. He doesn't. And I always ask him, why don't you ever just pay for the no commercials? And his answer is always, I don't know. And so, like, I never understood that. Like, if you want to watch something without commercials and you have the ability to do it, why don't you pay for it? Like, to me, one of the most amazing things in the world is my Hulu is with no commercials. My Disney Plus is without commercials. It's amazing. It's incredible. The whole reason of having Netflix is no commercials. All right, I've ranted and raved long enough about streaming platforms. Coming up next, my conversation with Nick, the owner of Zia Nicola Pizza in Seattle City. We'll talk about the history of the pizza shop in Seattle City and his thoughts on the Eagles season. Coming up next, Josh Hennick here on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Seattle City.
Wake up weekday mornings from 6 to 10 a.m. with Unsportsmanlike on 97.3 ESPN with Evan Cohen, Super Bowl champion Chris Canty, and Michelle Small.
Can't wake up without it.
Brought to you by the Gallery Bar Book and Games at Ocean Casino Resort in Atlantic City.
Say hello to Lumi, the whole body deodorant developed with your whole body in mind. Pits, privates, and beyond. It's outrageously effective and clinically proven to block odor all day, anywhere you have body odor and wish you didn't, and keeps controlling odor up to 72 hours. Lumi is different. Developed by an OBGYN, Lumi goes beyond masking odor to control body odor in a way certain other deodorants and soap don't. Start controlling body odor everywhere, not just armpits. Experience whole body freshness from Lumi Whole Body Deodorant today. Go to LumiDeodorant.com to be the best smelling you of all time. There's a special offer for listeners. Use code 203 and get 15% off your first purchase with code 203. Like the Lumi Starter Pack, Acidified Body Wash, or new Lumi Plus Sweat Control. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 203 for 15% off your first purchase. Love it or return it for free. That's LumeDeodorant.com, code 203 to save 15% today. LumeDeodorant.com.
All right, so there we were, cruising through the new open-air zoo, when I realized that the park was closing in like 15 minutes. Luckily, we were in my Nissan Rogue. With its powerful VC turbo engine, well, we had time to see all the animals. Whoa! And outrun a few!
Drive the Nissan Rogue.
Free! Who doesn't love free? With Milo's Rewards, you get the member-only treatment that's actually worth it. Enjoy free member gifts you'll love. And once you reach Silver Key status, you can get free standard shipping. Because Lowe's knows nothing feels better than free. Learn more about our new loyalty program at Lowe's.com/MyLowe's Rewards today. Program subject to terms and conditions. See Lowe's.com/terms for details. Member gifts may be subject to additional terms and restrictions. See Lowe's.com/shipping terms for details. Subject to change.
Every business faces challenges, but complicated, expensive, and uncertain shipping shouldn't be one of them.
With USPS Ground Advantage from the United States Postal Service, you can avoid all the noise.
No more unexpected surcharges, hidden fees, or complex rate structures.
It's just easy, cost-effective, and dependable shipping. Tune your business's frequency to success and turn shipping to your advantage. Learn how at USPS.com/advantage. USPS Ground Advantage. Simple, affordable, reliable.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
3, 2, 1.
It's gotta be a Matt Blatt Kia.
It's the third month of Matt Blatt Kia's 2 for $222. And this is the final month. 2 new Kias for $222. Brand new 2024 Kia Forte, just $111 per month lease with 0 security deposit and just $39.95 due at signing. With a price like that, why not get 2 for $222? Have a job clearing $450 per week? We want to approve you today with 0 down and pay just 1.9% for 48 months on every clearly marked new Kia Sportage in stock. Or drive home 2 Kia Fortes for $222.
It's gotta be a Matt Black Kia.
With approved credit, 24 Sportage, $21.65 per thousand. Not all will qualify. Credit may affect down payment. Offers can't be combined. Go to mattblackkiamj.com for complete details or 888-505-6670. Price includes all costs to be paid by consumer, except for licensing, registration, and taxes through KNF. 24 months, $111 per month, 10,000 miles per year. Rebates and incentives to dealer. Expires 6/2/24. Matt Black Kia, 6211 Black Horse Pike, Egg Harbor Township, and on Route 37 in Toms River.
Now, more Game Night with Josh Hennick on 97.3 ESPN and on the 97.3 ESPN free mobile app, powered by First Bank of Sea Isle City.
Josh Hennick here on Game Night on 97.3 ESPN FM, the 97.3 ESPN mobile app powered by First Bank of Sea Isle. You know what would be a really cool idea? When you're watching the NFL schedule tonight, if you had some pizza with you, and the best pizza in Sea Isle City is Zio Nicola Pizza. And Nick from Zio is with me here on 97.3 ESPN. He is our This Week Seize the Deal. This Friday morning at 9 a.m., you can get 2 $25 gift certificates for $25. Nick, how you doing today?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Doing pretty good. So now correct me if I'm wrong, because I might misremember my pop-up explains to me, but I believe that the interpretation of Zio Nicolo from Italian to English would be Uncle Nick, right?
Yeah, it means Uncle Nick.
Right.
Uncle Nick's Pizza in Italian, yep.
So tell us a little bit the history of Uncle Nick's Pizza, if we're going to Englishize it.
Yeah, so back in 2020, the store came up for rent, and I've been looking to do a pizzeria for, a year or two. Growing up, I worked for a friend of the family, and I worked in a pizzeria from the time I was 17 to like 22 while I was in college. And we, the location came up, and as soon as I saw it, I knew we were going to, I knew I was going to do it. And anyway, that part of it, the name part of it came from the fact that my brother has 3 kids, and it's named after them. I was going to go with Uncle Nick's, but I thought Zio Nicolo sounded better. And so that's the reason behind the name. And the reason behind the career change is that I just really got tired of the corporate world. And so here I am, 4 years later.
Now, you also have some history in Sea Isle City, too. It's not like you're just some new guy who just showed up in 2020 either.
No, yeah, I've been going there. My friends and I have been renting there since I was about 21. I'm 39 now. And yeah, we have a lot of history, with all the people in town. Had a lot of friends that I met over the years. Also in Avalon too, so both those towns, but mainly Sea Isle we've frequented from the time we were 21, and I still have friends come down, and we're all older now, but we still have a special place in our hearts for both of those towns.
So Zio Nicola Pizza is located on the Sea Isle Boardwalk between 42nd and 43rd Streets. By the way, if we can just get this out of the way, it is a boardwalk. I know it's supposed to be a walking promenade. I know it's a big argument for people, but I will plant my flag on this. It's a boardwalk. Just because it's concrete doesn't make it a less of a boardwalk, because every beach town has a boardwalk, whether it's concrete or wood.
Yeah, I agree. I would say, it's smaller. You're not going to get as much, action as far as Ocean City or Wildwood, but I think it's more of you get the same amount. You may not get rides, that kind of thing, but you have a little more relaxed atmosphere if you want to get away from the craziness of either one of those boardwalks. It's definitely more of a chill atmosphere.
I mean, you got an arcade right next to you. That arcade is older than both of us.
Yeah, it's been there for a long time. Changed a few times too.
Yeah, it's changed ownership about 3 times, but that arcade, the 42nd Street Boardwalk Arcade, if I remember correctly, it actually dates back to like the 1940s or something. Like some guy came back from World War II and opened the arcade. So
yeah, it's been there a long time. The current people, they own both arcades actually.
Yeah, the one down at the Spinnaker and the one over there too.
Yeah, yes, both of them.
Yeah, if anyone ever wondered if I actually know about the town, I talk about Sea Isle because I used to live there. We're talking with
Josh has been there a long time as well.
I have. We're talking with Nick, owner of Zia Nicole. This week sees the deal. 2 $25 gift certificates for just $25. The buy one, get one free deal this Friday at 9 a.m. Seizdeal.com. Now, Nick, the other thing is, one of the reasons why you and I also talk a lot is because you're a big, big Eagles fan. So for tonight, everyone is arguing, they're debating, they're discussing the schedule. Do you have like a preference or a worst case scenario for you with the Eagles schedule?
I think they're going to go 12-5. I think they can be better, maybe 13-4 or 14-3. Or they could be down to, but I would say 12-5 is what I think they're going to be. The only reason I say that is because I'm concerned about the defensive line. I think they've got enough, but I think they need one more piece, especially on the end side, the defensive end side. So I would say 12-5. If they upgrade, which I think they will during the summer, I'm sure Howie Roseman will have some kind of plan to get someone that maybe doesn't make a roster, that kind of thing, or they'll sign someone that gets cut. So I think they'll be 12-5. There's two concerns are the defensive end and also the absence of Jason Kelce. I think is going to be an issue.
Jason Kelce also owns a vacation home in Sea Isle City. If we're going to bring this full circle here.
Yeah, he's a proud Sea Isle person for sure. We see him strolling the promenade quite a bit.
It's funny because Kelsey's actually been at camp and OTAs working with Cam Jurgens of the Eagles offensive lineman.
Yeah.
So Kelsey is already investing his life in a post-media career in a part-time coaching, apparently. Because Jake Elliott apparently came out and said that Kelsey's in the building almost every day, like hanging out with everybody. So
yeah, I've heard that. It's been daily. And he's going to work for ESPN. An announcement came
Monday
out
Football,
yesterday. Yeah, so I guess that's out the window, but it seems like he misses it a lot. But
he said on the podcast he misses it a lot, but the thing he also he doesn't miss the wear and tear of preparing for the season. So.
Oh yeah, that's a beating. Even playing high school football, people don't understand how much you sacrifice your body, but good for him, and hopefully we see him in the pizzeria. We see him quite a bit on the promenade, and that'd be great if he came back, but I'm sure him teaching Cam Jurgens, I think they'll be okay. And, Stoutland is the best in the game as far as offensive line coaching. So I think they'll be fine. And for that reason that they have a great coach.
Of course, we know because Kelsey is on ESPN now for Monday Football. They're probably going to have at least 2 Monday Football games this year.
Yeah. I mean, they normally, normally about 5 to 6 primetime games.
The rule is you're not supposed to have more than 6 primetime games. You're not supposed to have more than 2 Monday night games. The Eagles ended up with 3 last year because remember the Seahawks game got flexed in.
They got flexed in, yeah.
That was weird.
I'm sure they'll definitely take up all 6.
My
a lot of young fans out there.
Yeah, my working theory is you're going to have at least 2 Eagles Monday night games and 2 Cowboy Monday night games because also former Cowboy Marcus Spears is on the desk. So I'm sure
Along
they're
with
going to have
him,
right. So I'm sure they're going to have a little bit of something with that. By the way, you mentioned the Eagles D line. If I go back to that for a second,
yeah,
because to me it sounds like it's the depth concern that you have more than a talent concern. Is that fair?
Yeah, I'd say so. And when you get worn down, you're going to need another person. Hassan Reddick, I think they're going to miss him, but I don't know what the issue is. It's really strange because maybe he's not a team player. I don't know, but nothing's really come out. Or maybe they think he's declining. I just think they could use one more guy on the line as far as depth. The starting 4, they should be okay. But, some of these younger guys are, like Jordan Davis and Jalen Carter, they're, I don't know if they're used to the 17-game schedule yet. And hopefully they are. They need more conditioning. But
Vic Fangio said that at his press conference. He's like, "Oh yeah, I'm expecting these guys to get more conditioning."
Yeah, well, they should be. They get paid to play the game. That's all they do. So I don't want to hear that they, that they're too tired because you know what? If you're paid to do that, it's your only job. Then get out there and get more in shape.
Spoken like a true Italian who owns a pizzeria. You have one job to do. Just do your job.
I agree. Yeah. And I think Fangio shares that sentiment.
Yeah, I love Fangio already. I know some people are like, oh man, he gave a lot of short answers. And I'm like, I love it. Like he's kind of in that Jim Schwartz, Jim Johnson, crusty old coach mold.
Yeah. And hopefully, but the newer players are a little more sensitive. We know that. I think he'll draw, have a fine line between that. But, I think judging from what he's been saying, it's a good thing. They need someone, need some adults in the room. And I think that's what's going to happen.
Zio Nicola, it's on between 43rd and 42nd Street on the boardwalk in Sea Isle City this week. Seize the deal, 9 a.m. this Friday morning. You get buy one, get one, two $25 gift certificates to Zio Nicola, $50 value, just $25. Buy one, get one. Zio Nicola Pizza in Sea Isle City. It's this week's Seize the Deal. Nick, appreciate coming in the studio today.
Yeah, of course. Thank you, Josh. Thanks for your support.
Great talk with Nick earlier today. He brought some pizzas by the studio. You saw that over on my Instagram at Joshua S. Hennigan at 973 on Instagram. Nick's a great guy. So if you're looking for some pizza at the shore this summer, seizethedeal.com this Friday at 9 a.m. The deal goes live. Two $25 gift certificates for just $25 for both. The $50 value for $25. So, all right, let's get some text before we get out of here. Some interesting text coming in at 609-403-0973. Jeff from Summers Point chimes in and says, speaking of all this network talk, it's the ridiculous bill I pay for Xfinity. And I only watch like 5 channels and you use the Wi-Fi. I'm going to be calling Xfinity to either get rid of it or see what deals they got. It's such a ripoff. Honestly, I don't really have it for to watch the Eagles play. Jeff from Summers Point. Jeff, let me tell you something. For me, I am saving a lot of money because I got rid of my TV deal. Now, I still have the internet, because the internet's very useful. You can go anywhere with the Xfinity Wi-Fi and jump on some other Wi-Fi. So it's a really easy and convenient deal. I'm going to eventually get like a Hulu Live, Sports Plus Live TV, whatever, or a YouTube TV for me. I'm going to get that eventually. That's probably what I recommend anybody doing, just to save money at this point. Dan from EHT says, Josh, you got my interest in the show today. You're talking about pizza. By the way, with the last year's Sixers roster made the Eastern Conference Finals this year. No. I think that what you saw last year was their ceiling. Their ceiling last year was a second-round team. I think this team would have gotten out of the first round if they would have Tobias Harris would just score some points. I know I forgot to talk about the PGA Tour with Dave Weinberg. Let me see if I can I do this in 20 seconds? Am I enough of a professional that I can swing this in 20 seconds here? Let's see here. Okay. Give me Scotty Scheffler, Rory McIlroy, Hovland, Cam Smith, all for top 5 picks.
You have the choice. Whether it's going out to dinner or ordering takeout at a local restaurant or buying that new outfit from a local boutique, those choices help to put money back into your community. Town Square Media South Jersey proudly puts a spotlight on local businesses.
Smokers Haven. Visit smokershavennj.com for a full line of fine tobacco and accessories. Dr. Lyle M. Back. For everything from skincare to cosmetic surgery, go to ilovelylback.com. Progressive Fence and Railing. Whether it's a durable fence or railing, a stylish deck, a beautiful awning, or a serene gazebo, visit progressivefenceandrails.com. And Ambient Comfort Heating and Cooling Professionals, AmbientComfortNJ.com. Town Square Media South Jersey thanks you for supporting your local businesses like Smokers Haven in Northfield, Dr. Lyle M. Back in Cherry Hill, Progressive Fence and Railing in Egg Harbor Township, and Ambient Comfort Heating and Cooling in Vineland.